Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone, world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. We extend you a very warm welcome on Saturday evening at 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Of course, you got to add 2.5 hours more if I take you to my today's distinguished guest, Dr. Deepak Waikarji, the education strategist from Singapore, who is joining us all the way. It is indeed a great pleasure because when you think about India and Singapore, Honorable Minister, Union Minister of Education, our Dharmendra Pradhanji, he recently visited Singapore as well as Australia. Dr. Deepak Vaikarji will give the further details of that. He was on 3 days visit to Australia. He went to Melbourne, he went to Sydney, couple of discussions, and then he spent a lot of time in Singapore as well, where he had lots of deliberations with all the dignitaries. So Vaikarji will tell us about that later. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our total emphasis, we are starting a new venture, new series, new ecosystem for the education today. And that efforts are, प्रयास है कि सिंगापुर एंड इंडिया इन दोनों को कैसे ज्वाइन किया जाए, जोड़ा जाए, कंबाइन किया जाए और एक ऐसा फेविकोल तैयार किया जाए कि every aspect of education, whether school education, higher education, technical education, vocational education, besides that, our research, innovation, and earlier we had the capacity building, and now the capability building of teachers. How do we work out those strategies? So this evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are world over, join me in extending a very warm welcome to have Dr. Deepak Waikarji, the education strategist, all the way from Singapore. Floor is yours, sir.
Namaste. Thank you very much. Good evening from Singapore and good afternoon to those in India and maybe good morning for those who are coming from the North America where Trump is coming soon. Okay. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to Major Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji, very renowned educationist, service leader, and my guide and friend. Okay, so thank you for inviting this one.
I become more humble.
And when both of us were conversing, Gulshanji feels that if there is a collaboration happening at the ministerial level between India and Singapore, then before that detailed policy direction comes from top, we should also start bottom up, also start doing something ourselves in that direction, so that there will be a, nowadays there is a Mahakumbh Mela is happening in Prayagraj, Sangam, ये भी संगम ही होगा. अच्छा, टाइपर्ट्राइट संगम तीन का है. एक नदी है हमारे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन से, दूसरी नदी है मैं लेके आऊंगा, और तीसरी नदी है गुलशन जी लाएंगे. तीनों नदियों का संगम महाकुंभ मेले के जैसा ही है समझो. और जब तक महाकुंभ मेला चलते रहेगा, हम भी आपसे शेयर करते रहेंगे कि क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. So today topic I have been given by Gulshan ji is to share about two important things. One, national education policy is there, which India has adopted since July 2020, and efforts are being made everywhere. Whenever I visit, interact with the experts from education, whether it's a vice chancellor, dean, or heads of department, even professors, and they say that yes, they are trying to absorb that national education policy document, which is 80 page and more, and they are in the process of implementing various aspects. Okay, and whenever such policy change comes in, it is not easy to absorb, and then there is always a confusion which one we should start first. Okay. And I have been in education for more than 30 years now. And we also face in Singapore similar situation when first time we were introduced about project-based learning. And when it was the first time, all of us were wondering, hey, what is it? Aren't we doing projects in our engineering courses? Aren't we doing something? Then what is this one? But only when uh, the experts from United States of America, experts from Europe, they came and they shared that this is a pedagogy. This is not just doing project. It is a pedagogy which can bring various benefits of project-based learning into almost each and every lessons we do it. And initially we were also facing challenges. Then we took an approach, and I had a honor and pleasure to share with you that almost 25 years back, I designed one course, which was using problem and project-based learning. At that time, 25 years back, sustainable energy was a new area. And they say if I can teach by normal way, take a lecture, do tutorial, do lab, and then students will be again going through it. So we had a discussion and we decided, hey, maybe we try to implement whatever I got learning from the various educationists. And first thing first we did was, let us look at the low hanging fruit. Okay. Low hanging fruit means the one which you can pluck easily. Okay. You can see the benefits within a short period before we go for the high hanging fruit. Okay. Most of the time they say we have got a big vision, like your national education policy is a big vision. But if it is very tall, you can think about a नारियल का पेड़ है, नारियल बहुत ऊंचा है, तो बच्चों को बोले उसको निकालना है, तो बच्चे बोलेंगे ये तो इम्पॉसिबल है। तो उसको पहले क्या करेंगे, उसको बेर वाले पेड़ के पास ले जाएंगे। Okay, we'll take him to the another one where they can see, little difficult, it's not so easy, but at least they can say, hey, I can pluck it, I can pluck that fruit. This is a low hanging fruit. First thing first, before then we train them and they get used to it, and once they get properly trained, then you increase height slowly. The same way, national education policy has got some of the things which are very nice, and it will require probably a decade or so to get final outcome. Then what will happen is, if a principal is asked, a vice chancellor is asked, hey, can you tell me what is it you have implemented on national education policy in last 2 years? And they might say, oh, we conducted seminar, we given all knowledge about what is national education policy. We conducted seminar for our faculty member, our teachers. We had discussions. Now we are in phase of how to consider it to the next level, because they need 1 year, 2 years to just learn about it. So as a result, they are not able to show immediate result. And then ministry will say, hey, what is it? The policy is there for last 3 years and I don't see any movement from your side. No, we are working on it. We are introduce some electives, something. They will start doing some what we call tinkering of the curriculum. चलो एक इलेक्टिव लगा दो, चलो एक कुछ तो भी एक एक्टिविटी करवा दो स्टूडेंट से, और बोले कि हाँ हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं, बट देन इट इज रियली नॉट. And what we found that now, if you look at the national education policy, if you can show that slide, Gulshanji, then I can mention about it. What are the key points that coming
Give me
from the...
Give me 2-3 minutes. I'll just
Okay.
meanwhile arrange. Anji.
Okay. So there are clearly mentioned in national education policies. One, that we want a multidisciplinary, holistic approach. Enough of just too much of specialization at earlier stage, because industry say, hey, we want multidisciplinary people who can handle multiple responsibility rather than only one. Gone are the days of like with 30, 40 years back that you become a particular specialist and you retire that specialist. No more now. Okay, no more. You might be finding that you'll be doing your specialization something, but in midway you may be doing something different, and finally when you retire, you must have found something AI, okay, which you never thought about it 35 years back. Now that is the new what they call paradigm shift. New, they call it new normal. New normal is this, that things are changing. Okay, बदल अटल है. बदल अटल है. Okay, so reason they say is that change is the only constant. And another thing we can just, I can twist around, change is the only constant. Atal badal hai, and constantly it changes. Another part, okay. So badal atal hai, atal badal hai. Because of this, so earlier part, it would have taken maybe 25, 30 years before something changes. So by that time, if you had started young, you would have retired, new person comes, new change comes, there is no issue. But now, in our working life, I call it working life of 25 years or 30 years, whatever, depending on the place you are, and retirement age, in that you will see at least 3 to 5 major changes, not small changes. And if these 3 to 5 major changes are going to come to your life, whether you are working in a private sector, public sector, education, even service sector, or you are having your own business, the changes are happening, and changes are happening at a rapid pace. Now, then how we can keep up with this change? So therefore, national education policy says that we have to now train, or we have to give knowledge and experience to our students so that they can, पहला वाला दिखाई सर जी, पहला वाला national education policy वाला. So so they can solve the problem. Okay, not only what problem, the real life problem, not the theoretical problem. Okay, कि 5 अंगूर थे, 7 बादाम थे, 2 आम थे, ये मिलके कितने हो गए, theoretical one. Okay, तो ऐसा नहीं. तो बोलते अभी आपको इसको चेंज करना पड़ेगा. You have to give them real life problems. Reason is, if our students are trained, they go through real life experience, then they will see the relationship between the knowledge in your curriculum book, its application. And if they can, we can show that that happens, then their critical thinking in their brain gets invoked, triggered, and they start getting trained. Hey, now problem comes, I have to think differently. There is no bookish solution for this. There is only no one answer for many problems. There could be more than one. So if that kind of system we can bring in our education, in our curriculum, in our teaching, the national education policy states that we are preparing our graduates for the future. The forthcoming challenges coming, they are ready for it. Rather than, you might see that, okay, nowadays our emphasis is everywhere, okay, that this competition examination, they go to that coaching classes, they just try and try for few months and years, sometimes few years in quota or somewhere, and then they hide. वो दिखा सकते सही है. So then what happens is they have to focus only on that, getting, passing, and good marks in the examination and get that admission. Okay. You can go to full screen if possible. For वहाँ पे एक छोटा एक है नीचे में, if you can go for that, the one only that, because we can. Yeah, correct. Thank you. So पीछे वाला ही. Yes. So now यहाँ पे पूरा you can see National Education Policy 2020 clearly mentioned that we want to now prepare our students for critical thinking and problem solving. Clearly mentioned here. Okay, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary learning, and critical thinking. And obviously, whatever approach we take should be student-centered teaching and learning practice. अभी जो हो रहा है मैं अकेला ही बता रहा हूँ, क्योंकि बिकॉज ऑफ द नेचर ऑफ दिस जूम, सो इट इज कॉल्ड टीचर ओरिएंटेड. आई एम टीचर इज द वन just delivering, and all of those who are joined, they are just listening, and later on we will make it a little bit learner centric, student centric. Okay, and this should prepare them for employability skills. That is the focus of national education policy. Okay, and there are some more. Okay, then multiple entry, multiple exit, those part I think I will not go into this one here. Now, how we can use one of the powerful ways to implement like a critical thinking and problem solving, स्टूडेंट सेंटर एंड मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी. ये तीन वाले अगर हमको कंबाइन करना है, वी कॉल इट, इफ दीज आर टू बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड, देन one of the powerful technique is project based learning. अब आप, so project based learning. Now you can show the next slide if you will, sir. So project based learning क्या है? ये डायग्राम में आपके, this diagram will tell you what is project based learning rather than writing about it. Project based learning, it is called PBL. There are other ways also, they call it PBL, lot of things. This is the innovative and dynamic approach to teaching and learning. One part, innovation chahiye, but all of us say we need innovation if you want to now move into 21st century. We want to compete with the global world. There is no more competition between, okay, Chandigarh and Mumbai, okay, the competition with the New York and London and, okay, Paris and Singapore. So we have to prepare them to have a global mindset also. That is why, okay. So this interactive and dynamic approach that places learners at the heart of inquiry, heart of the inquiry. हमारे दिल में, हमारे मन में, दिल में, मन की बात हो, दिल की बात हो, उसमें हमारे विद्यार्थी चाहिए. अभी हम क्या है, हमारे मन में सब परीक्षार्थी है, भाई ये एग्जाम कैसा क्रैक करेगा, वो एग्जाम कैसा क्रैक करेगा, सिविल सर्विस आईएएस कैसा बनेगा, आईपीएस कैसा बनेगा, और इंजीनियरिंग सर्विस कैसा बनेगा, या नीट कैसी क्रॉस करेगा, जेई कैसे. अभी हमारे मन में स्टूडेंट नहीं, हमारे वो हार्ट में, मन में क्या है, वो एग्जाम कैसी क्रैक करनी. हम सबको परीक्षार्थी बना रहे हैं. और फिर परीक्षार्थी का एडवांटेज ये है कि हाँ, उस वक्त आपको इमीडिएट रिजल्ट मिल जाता है. तो 8 लाख, 8 लाख लोग बैठते हैं परीक्षा के लिए, सिर्फ 8,000 लोगों को मिलता है. बाकी के बचे हुए 7 लाख, करीबन 92,000 सब निराश हो जाते हैं, हताश हो जाते हैं. अरे हमको तो नहीं मिला, क्या करना चाहिए, हमारा तो, कुछ लोग तो ऐसा समझते कि हमारी जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गई. वैसा नहीं है. दुनिया अलग है, दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है. सिर्फ आपको सिविल सर्विस में ही जॉब मिला तो आपकी जिंदगी बदले, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. आजकल दुनिया भर में इतना बदल चुका है कि जो जो इसमें आपको, आपका दिल लगता है, मन लगता है, आपको पैशन लगता है, आपको जो उसके में आपके लिए करने के लिए आसान हो जाता है, वो करने करोगे तो आप कौन सा भी फील्ड चॉइस करो, यू विल बी सक्सेसफुल. So that is why learners at the heart of inquiry process. And while doing this one, connected to the real world problems and challenges. अभी उनको जो आप देखोगे जेई के या नीट के एग्जाम के क्वेश्चंस वो सब थियोरेटिकल रहते हैं, और वो इतना डिलिबरेटली कॉम्प्लेक्स कर देते हैं कि आपको थियोरेटिकली सोचना है. नाउ दे आर सेइंग यू गिव देम ए रियल वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लम. वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल, एवरीवन वांट्स टू हैव विकास. विकास चाहिए सबको, सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. कैसा विकास चाहिए? आई आई यूज टू से, क्या से आपको विकास क्या चाहिए? झक्कास विकास चाहिए या भक्कास विकास चाहिए? अभी हम क्या कर रहे हैं, जो हम इन्वायरमेंट की कदर नहीं कर रहे, तो कुदरत की कदर नहीं कर रहे, जो अंधाधुंध विकास चल रहा है, जिससे हमको अब नुकसान हो रहा है. अमेरिका जैसे कैलिफोर्निया जल रहा है एक तरफ, ओके. दूसरी तरफ चाइना में फ्लड्स आ चुके हैं. तीसरी तरफ जो बोलते हैं ना, अंटार्कटिका में आइस पिघल रहा है, सी लेवल बढ़ रहा है, स्टॉर्म्स आ रहे हैं और बार बार है. दिस इज व्हाट इज व्हाई इट इज हैपनिंग, बिकॉज we have been doing the development haphazardly without taking care of environment. Now this is a real problem. अब फ्लड्स हमको भी फेस करते हैं. अभी कहीं भी रहेंगे तो ऑलमोस्ट each one of us are facing floods, each of us facing the heat waves, cold waves, okay, disruptions. Now these are the real problems. हम उनको सॉल्व करने के लिए हमारा जो भी लेसन अगर वैसे उस पे करेंगे, then students will get chance to solve them. Not only students will get, because these are open-ended type. Now we do not have one solution for this, so they get chance to explore different approaches. That is another beauty and advantage of project-based learning. Okay, and if we bring those in our lessons with examples and allowing our students to solve those problems, and we become more of a facilitator as a teachers. You say, okay, you have done this one, tell me what are the advantages of your solution, what are disadvantages of solution, and why someone should take your solution. जैसे आजकल बोलते हैं, ओ बहुत सारा पोल्यूशन हो रहा है, इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल यूज करो. अच्छा, तो कौन सी कैसे करना चाहिए? इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल के फायदे क्या है, नुकसान क्या है, कैसी बनेगी, कैसा करेंगे, क्या होगा क्या नहीं, चार्जिंग, ये सब आप बताओ. आप उनको पूछेंगे तो इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल से ही आप उनको सिखाएंगे कि भाई इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक क्या है. इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स आप ले लिए सामने, उनको स्कूटी भी ले लिए, कुछ भी है जो खोल सकते हैं देख सकते हैं, उससे आप उनको सिखाएंगे इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिज्म क्या है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कैसी चलती है, राउंड व्हील राउंड क्यों होता है, चलता पहिया कैसा चलता है, स्पीड क्या है, जो आप जो सिखाना चाहते हैं, स्पीड रिलेशनशिप वेलोसिटी एवरीथिंग, ऑल दिस कैन बी टॉट विद अ फोकस ऑन इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल. बैटरी कैसी चलती है, व्हाट इज बैटरी, व्हाट इज सिंपल सेट. सो इट मीन्स दिस इज व्हाट वी टेक ए रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल विच दे कैन सी. अगर आप छोटे तालुका में या छोटे गांव में सिखा रहे, वहां इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल नहीं है, तो उसका एग्जांपल मत दीजिए फिर. You as a teacher find example which is relevant to your place, where students can, when they go out or something, they can see it, they can feel it. That is what is called real world problems.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dr. Deepak ji, I'll just interrupt for a second.
Sure, I think I was to
Dr.
ask you. Okay.
Dr. Ravneet Chawla ji, she's from Sector 20, the B.Ed college, one of the most prestigious college for the B.Ed in Chandigarh in the Union Territory. And she is writing, Dear Sir, our teachers in 70s and 80s were so good that they brought life into the class by their interaction, by bringing examples without bringing any PPTs, etc., but with their discussions, maps, workbooks. You remember I was talking one of the prestigious B.Ed college in Chandigarh. This is that college what madam is from, and she's looking after the entire coordination part, placement part, management part, development part. So she's really happy having joined, and she says what it used to be and how it used to be and how with the digital technology and today. And you gave such a nice example what is happening in California, where the ice is melting, where the other things are. Some another lady also mentioned something. उन्होंने लिखा सही में only job के लिए परीक्षा. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
No, no, good. But thank you very
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
Dr. Chawla ji, and another person who gave their comments. So I understand. Okay, earlier part, teaching profession was different. Our teachers now also is quite. There are very good teachers. I'm not disputing that. Okay, but now what we want to do is we want to bring this to the as many teachers as possible, because this is a learnable skill. We are not saying it is like earlier we say, oh, maybe this professor or teacher is God gifted. Okay, that has to go now. There is no more gifted one. It is learnable skill. As long as they are willing to learn one part, they are willing to experiment, they are willing to learn from the mistakes. Okay, that is very important part, and that also we have to give to students also. Okay, hey, you are learning from mistake, you are also going to make mistakes. अभी हम mistakes करने लिए डरते हैं. We are scared of making mistake because आप फुल्ली रेड मार्क लगा के मार्क कट कर देते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि परीक्षार्थी है, मेरा मार्क तो लूज हो जाएगा. So we are so scared, stressed. My answer should not be wrong, correct? So, but that fear we have to take away. First part is a learning one. In a learning, when you try, we would like you to प्रयत्न करना चाहिए, क्योंकि आपने तो सुना होगा, कोशिश कोशिश करने वाले की कभी, वैसा बोला जाता है. लेकिन फिर हम हमारे लेसन्स में क्यों नहीं लाते हो कोशिश करने वाले की? हम बोलने तो अच्छा बोल देते हैं, एक बड़ा बड़ा स्पीच देते हैं, लेकिन आते हैं तो बस अभी ये असेसमेंट है, एमसीक्यू है, 30 मिनट्स में 30 करो, 15 मिनट में 60 करो, और फिर उनको मार्क करने का. वी हैव डैमेज एजुकेशन सिस्टम. Now, if that is to be rescued, we the people, we the educationists have to do something about it. And I'm very, very convinced by my experience, once we use this approach, our lessons will be what Madam Chawlaji was mentioning, will be lively. Now we don't have to, because nowadays, because of the technology availability of the internet, people can read themselves a lot. Earlier used to, books were there, they had, it was a little difficult one, you have to go to library or may not be, but now it is at a finger of tips they can read about it, and good and bad about it. So now what we do is we say we will not go to repeat whatever is available. We are going to say now, yes, how you can apply that. That is what the project based learning is. Okay, we create project out of that problem and then allow students to work in a group. Think about it. We as a teacher, we as a professor, we as a lecturer, we become what is, we call it facilitator, and we are ready to accept in front of students, hey, I do not know the correct answer, let us work out together, but I know the process, I know the technique, I know the methodology which can lead me to the correct answer. Okay, पहले से पता नहीं कि बस फिर उसको उल्टा गया, पहले से पता है उसको रट दिए और फिर वही आके बता दिया, ऐसा नहीं है. So if we do this one consistently at various levels, then our students will start thinking that way. And once they start thinking that way, they know that they have got more innovation and curiosity and to learn. They will feel the learning is a joyful. I'm solving the problem of my society. I'm solving problem in my community. I'm solving problem, the day-to-day problem I'm facing, rather than telling my teacher, tell me the answer. Otherwise, teacher, tell me answer. I just wrote learning. I do it, and then exam comes. I just vomit it there. So how we can do that one? My first step, I will say, if you want to implement national education policy, let us start incorporating project-based learning in our lesson. and very happy to inform you that uh, Major Dr. Gulshan Sharma ji has taken this mission. He has specially told me that he wants to now pass on this knowledge to as many interested teachers, as many interested principals, as many interested heads of department, as many interested lecturers, and we will go through a systematic process. Whatever we share with you, my guarantee, after doing those, whatever the period we decide, say 5 lessons, 7 lessons, you will be able to apply those 60% immediately. That is my guarantee. Remaining 40% will require a little bit innovation, little bit resource allocation, little bit rearranging syllabus and other things. But 60% you can do it. And imagine that now. If you are a principal and from your school or your college, 60% of NEP is implemented in lessons, you will be able to write a report, nice report. Okay, we have got, okay, from this standard to this standard, out of this we have got maybe 50 subjects. Out of 50 subjects, 60% of that means 30 subjects we have incorporated it. Under these 30 subjects, these are the things we have incorporated. You will be able to write a nice report to the management, and that report will be based on facts and figures, not in here. हाँ कर रहे हैं, करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं, करके दिखाएंगे.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think it was a wonderful teaser today. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Deepak ji is joining us from Singapore all the way. There's a 2 hours, 2.5 hours difference. That's why we kept this program at 5 p.m. But I took the consent of many professors, many principals, many teachers, and I'm so very happy that a large pool people, those are posting their views and they're writing to us. Today is the first program. We'll take the journey forward. We would like to pick up the threads. What exactly happened? Because India and neighboring countries, Southeast Asia, and for that matter, a couple of other countries in Asian continent got independence almost at the same time when India got. Some of them, they accelerated their education system and health system in the top gear. And because of that, the world is altogether different. Today, you see their economy. Today, you see their development. Today, you see their infrastructure. Today, you see so many things. So, I think somebody rightly mentioned, and as Deepak ji also made a mention over here, project based learning. Why not education to be relevant to my day to day life, day to day living, day to day activities, right from the time I get up in the morning until I go to sleep? What all is happening in my life should be part of my learning process. Dr. Deepak ji, because based in Singapore, has got a lot of new ideas, and he's with a lot of innovative projects, research projects, teacher training projects, capability building. We have moved ahead from capacity building to capability. We'll discuss that also one of these days in detail. And Madam Ravneet Chawla, you made a mention, another one, something very interesting, ma'am, that we can integrate new available tools and groups, field works for sure. But sadly, teachers are busy documenting daily things, which is a compromise on that time which should be spent with students. That is another concern, what we have got. So they got to be taken away from the administrative works and all that. Then again, somebody has written, we are happy training teachers to take care of readiness level of students and optimize new ways. We do it too. In my MSc Child Development, we did project method for nursery students. And if you remember, Deepak ji, we discussed earlier also that teachers, those are handling right from the kindergarten to the fifth class, they should be so well paid because that is the tendering time up to the age of 10 or 11 years when the child main kind of a personality gets formed and what we become in life. There are deep imprints of that time. So great to have you. And before we close, Dr. Deepak ji, there is something very interesting I would like to leave with the audience. Those of us, those are in education ecosystem, please go through one book if you have not gone so far. It has just come out and it has been read by most presidents, prime ministers, education ministers, and world over. It has spread. Example will not be correct like a wildfire, but it has spread in a very positive way, in a very decent way. The book is The Anxious Generation. The book is The Anxious Generation. What has happened to the world after 2012? Drastic change. Okay, let me go back a little bit more. When calculator was invented and slowly and gradually it was brought to the classroom, some of the students were not applying their mental math where they do the calculation 6 plus 7 is 13, 13, 13, 26, 26, 26, 52, 52, 52, 104. So that stopped because you were dependent on calculator. 2012, when the smartphone has come, God has given only one thing common to all of us world over, and that is called 24 hours. How do we make best use of it? Technology is there to facilitate. But what are we watching on computer? What are we watching on mobile phone? What are we watching over there? Whether somebody is watching or us or not, but after some time, everything will come before you. Your results will speak what is there. And the author, Professor Jonathan Haddocks, it is Jonathan Haddits. He's a Jew. What a remarkable. I have watched more than 25 videos of his on his book, his interviews. And you know what he says? How the great rewiring of childhood is causing an epidemic of mental illness. My God, it's a mind-blowing book. Whether the smartphone should be allowed to do brought to the classroom or to be kept outside, up to what age the parents should basically watch what exactly is happening, what the child is viewing, keep the child before your eyes. It's a mind-blowing book, and I would strongly request, although I'm not getting any commission from Professor Jonathan, but what I'm telling you is watch on YouTube, see it on YouTube. There is an audio book, there's a video book, and he has got his interviews also. Every time I listen to him, I go one step ahead. Next week, me and Deepak ji, as today we decided we will talk about the Anxious Generation book. Next week, we will give you something else very amazing. I have come across one video which has been aired last week related to education on artificial intelligence, what will happen in future, whether it happens or not, but these are permutation combinations based on today's outcome, what we have got. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, my deep gratitude and thanks to Dr. Deepak Waikarji. Last word is yours before we close down. And all of us, those who have joined us on our YouTube channel and you have posted your views right from the bottom of my heart, along with Dr. Deepak ji, we are indebted to you. Thank you very much for joining and sparing your valuable time. And Dr. Deepak ji, last word is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Kushanji. As usual, you have been really fantastic. Just to address couple of questions raised by Professor Dr. Chalaji. Yes, I do understand our teachers' administrative load is increasing and increasing. And if I were to work with your team, we will give you this technique of problem and project-based learning that your teachers will solve that one, that project, okay, problem. So most of the time what happens is they have a problem, we say somebody else has to solve it. Not easy. So we'll be happy to help solve that problem using your resources like your teachers and your administrative people. That is there. And obviously that has led to very interesting topic mentioned by Gulshanji. can we use technology? One of the ways, okay, one of the ways. How can we use technology? Okay, technology is our tool. Technology is our tool. We are not tool of technology. Okay, remember this one. This is what I will definitely, whenever I do workshop, my faculty development program, teachers development program, I demonstrate that technology is the tool in the hands of the smart people like us. And obviously, we have to use it smartly, okay, judiciously. Now, obviously, there are challenges to address about that anxious generation book, because whenever something comes new, there is initial hype is always there, okay. So whether it's a smartphone, whether it's a calculator, whether it's any other thing, internet, whatever, so you will find that for initial period is a hype, okay, the people get attracted, hey, something great, great, but then we come on the ground afterward, okay, after is, hey, now it was not supposed to be that great as we thought about it, because we only believed on somebody saying it, okay. And I can also debate with Professor Jonathan Hedges that whatever he has mentioned may not be the outcome finally. Okay, I can share that because we use technology, and we initially also face the same thing. Okay, when we allowed initially 20 years back, bring your notebooks in the classrooms. Okay. Yes, because we are teaching at the tertiary level. Tertiary level is different. I understand school level is different, but I am very confident. Okay. If we use this technology in our lessons, in my lessons, students don't get time to do other things. They have to use these tools and techniques to complete their discussion or assignment. So they are busy doing this one. During my lesson, they use it, smartphone, whatever. Even if I say, hey, now I use this term, find out and tell me, okay, what are different views of that? So there are different ways to do it. Depends on that. Obviously, I'm not saying that there are not detrimental effect, because whatever we use, technology is what we call double-edged sword. Okay, and we the teachers, we the educators, we the uh, people who have got generally whole society's welfare in mind, we want to use the good part of it. And then we also need a governance system wherein there is a discouragement for the using for the incorrect parts. Okay, same thing is okay. So tool is given to you, how you use it correctly or incorrectly, and then we can tell them safe way to use it, then it is possible. I'm not saying immediate there is a solution, no, but this is like a problem based learning, project based learning is the beginning of that. And then you will find that whatever challenge comes, you just throw with them and learn with them, work with them, and then otherwise we will be giving example. Last time 10 years back it was like this one, now students are doing this one. My humble request, let us take this pedagogy, start using it in our lessons. We the teachers are doing favor to ourselves, we the educationists are going to do favor to ourselves, the principals are going to do favor to themselves, because the teachers are now going to use the technique which will be helping them to solve most of the problem, so that principal can focus on the higher level of problem. Otherwise, principal will be busy solving the low level of problems, then she will have no time to think about the bigger things. Then she, oh, I don't have time, I'm very busy at this one. So what happens is, when you use this concept, principal will have more time to think about strategic things. Okay, 5 year long-term plan thing, and then bringing in those, okay, some of the things have come, how I can find those resources. So the real role of principals, they will start doing it. At present, same thing happens. As happens with teachers, they spend more time in administration, less time in teaching. Then principals spend more time in doing the nitty small thing, and they have less time to look at the bigger one. And then they have to spend more time, sometimes weekends, and then family is affected because they have to get it done, get permission from ministry. So I'm telling you, this pedagogy, I have been using it, and then I have no issue. Okay, whenever I want to use it, I start using it. Okay, so we will
Wonderful.
systematically train. We'll systematically train. Once you use it, I can tell you, this is only first time you is tough. Anything you try new thing is a tough. But once we use it, I have seen whosoever I trained, majority of them are now preferring to use this pedagogy rather than going back to their old way. Okay. So we'll be happy to share whenever there is a more opportunities available. Thank you very
Wonderful,
much.
wonderful,
And
wonderful. Dr. Deepak Waikar, our deep gratitudes and thanks. He did mention in between one of the biggest event of the world when you talk about event industry, and that's the Kumbh Mela. During the entire week, because next Saturday we would be meeting again at 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and of course 7:30 that is in Singapore. We would be again meeting with Dr. Deepak ji, and during this 1 week, let's do some permutation combination project based learning applicable to Kumbh Mela. What exactly is going on there? Because maybe something we can present to the UP government at the end of the Kumbh Mela, because it's going on till end February. And till that time, we'll work out some strategy and how it is to be done jointly from Singapore, Dr. Deepak Waikar and Chamber for Service Industry. We will present some kind of report, which is innovative to the government of UP and particularly tourism department.